You can know special education law, you can understand IEPs, you can be a great teacher, and you still spend your first few weeks completely confused because every school has its own way of doing things. I'm an experienced special education teacher, but I'm starting at a new school this year, so I still have to go through this process. I have to ask, where are records kept? Who schedules what? What forms does the school use? Who do you ask about X? What has to happen before a meeting? So I use something that I call a local systems map to help me figure all of that out every time that I start at a new school. Let me walk you through it. This is the local systems map that I develop, and I actually use this when I start at a new school. It starts off with the information or systems that you need to have at your school, and then the official location or the link, the procedure to access them, and then the key contact person for that system, and then any questions that you have. The first thing that I want to know are the class lists. I don't know the students and I don't know the teachers yet, so that's the very first thing that I need to do. So I'm going to write in class lists. And let's say that this school keeps the class lists on a Google Drive, so it's all online. So I'll fill in Google Drive, and then the procedure is just to use my school email to log in to the drive. And then I need to know my key contact. So this is the person that I would go to if I have any struggles at all. And let's say that it's Kim Jones. We're going to make up that person. And I don't really have any questions about this because I know how to use Google Drive and I can access that, so it's not a big problem. The next thing I need is my caseload. So I need to know who my students are. And let's say that I don't know how to get my caseload. I know I need it, but I don't know where to go. So I'm going to leave those blank. And my key contact is going to be my special education supervisor. And let's keep with the Jones theme, and we will use Leslie Jones, who is one of my very favorite comedians and actors. So I would absolutely love to have her as a boss, by the way. So Leslie Jones is my key contact, and since I need the caseload and I don't know where it is, I'm going to make a note so I can remember to ask Leslie, where do I find it? The next thing I need to know is where to get my IEPs. And let's pretend that this school is old school and they still have paper copies. So I need to go to the main office. And since I'm new, I'm going to put an extra note so I remember that it's behind the conference room. So when I go to find them, I'll remember where exactly I need to go. And the procedure is to sign a log form so that they have proof of who has been in those files. I also remember from orientation that they said I can't remove the files, so I'm going to make that note so I don't forget. And Leslie is going to be my contact again because she's my supervisor. But I have a question this time. So I know where to go to get the IEPs, but what do I do if I need a copy of something or I need some information from the IEP? What's the procedure for that? So I'm going to make a question here of how do I make copies? So I remember that I need to ask Leslie about that. And now I have my special education parts in here, but what about my other teaching duties? So my playground duty or lunch duty, I'm going to make a note of that. And I'm trying to remember from orientation, I think they said that was on Google Drive, that I can get the schedule for that and what the expectations are. So I'm going to make a note of that. And the procedure, again, is just the school email. I know how to access that. It's not anything special. And the contact is the same, Kim Jones. And I don't really have any questions. I know where to find it and get what I need. I also need to know about the timetables, though. So the school timetables, the classroom timetables. And this time I'm thinking, and I don't remember where they said to get that in orientation. So I'm going to leave that blank because I don't know, but I need to find out. So I'm going to add a question of where to find that. This time, I'm not going to ask Leslie, though, because she's my special ed supervisor. Instead, I need to ask the principal. So that's the person I'm supposed to go to for questions like this. So let's say his name is Tom Smith, and I have to ask where are these kept? So where are the timetables? And I need to make that question. So I'm just going to keep going through this. And as a new person, every time something pops in my head, I'm going to add it. I'm trying to find where everything is in the system, and I'm also looking for any holes that I have in my own knowledge so I can get those answers. Just having that information is part of the step, but you also need to do follow through. So I need to make sure I get the answers that I need. So I'm looking at the questions that I have, the contact people that I have written down here, and I'm going to add them to my follow through tab. So let's say we'll just put today's date is the date that we started it, and the information is coming from my own list. There isn't really a student involved here, and I'm just going to put in the items. My first question was about the caseload location, so it's just a reminder to me of where that is. I could leave some of these blank because they don't really apply. And I'm going to give about 2 days timeline to follow up. So I'll send the email today and give Leslie about 2 days to respond. And if she doesn't respond in that amount of time, I'll probably give her like a follow up. So the impact of delay is I don't have my caseload. So I definitely need this. And I'm going to mark it as open because I've just sent the email and I don't have resolution yet. I can also change the status. So if Leslie doesn't respond, I can change it to nudged and maybe send like a reminder email. Although in this case, I'm more likely just to try to find her because it's a pretty pressing question. So I'll do this for all of the open questions I have. I'll go through, find the question, add it on my follow through, and then that way I can keep track of what is due and what I need to follow up with and what is resolved. My process is to look at this twice a day. The first time is at the end of the day. So I like to check it over and see if there's anything that I need to update or is there something that I need to add. So just anything that's on my mind, basically, I can put on here so that I remember what I need to do with it. It's a really good way to close my day because then I'm not bringing stuff home. I'm leaving it at work. I'm putting it on this spreadsheet so it didn't go anywhere. I'm not going to forget about it. I know what I have to do and I can let it go. I can go home and be home. And then the second part of the day that I look at is first thing in the morning. So when I get to work, I'll check over the spreadsheet for the day and see, is there anything that I need to remember that I need to do today or I need to prioritize for the day? And this is a really good habit to get into because it'll prevent you from bringing work home, even mentally. Because when you do that, it can really exhaust you. So this is a good parking lot for everything, and it allows you to keep track. It's okay that you don't know everything at first. It's not even possible if you're new. Your job in the first few days is to learn, where does this live? Who knows this? What is the process? And what do I still need to find out? Once you know how your school operates, the next problem is figuring out exactly what is happening across your caseload. That's where I use a caseload dashboard. I'll show you how to do that in my next video. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any videos. And tell me, what are your biggest worries about the first weeks of school? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, I'm Dr. Kathy White.